Gentlemen, welcome back. I just got a text message from Francis Atuoli, our good friend.
My brother.
He says, wow, Barack Muluka and my friend, my brother Barack and Makau Mutua, all age mates. What a coincidence, born the same year. He says a big hello to you both.
Oh, a big hello to you, Brother Atuoli.
Yes, my brother, our mothers are sisters. So.
All right, gentlemen, let me ask you this question. We have just come from a very bitterly contested election. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
So the question is, and let's not take too much time on this, but let's answer the question, what should the next IEBC look like, Prof?
I think that, first of all, there is business that has to be handled before we can think about the IEBC. You've seen in the last few days some information on our website, essentially giving figures for the election, figures that contradict the numbers that Mr. Chebukati declared in August. I should say that we, on our side of the aisle, he's looking at his watch.
Yeah, he's looking at his watch.
We, on our side of the aisle,
Yes.
have been conducting our own research. We have been mining data. We have been very busy trying to establish what happened in those elections. Because I think, and if my brother here, if there's honesty, and we can, I think we should be honest with each other, they were as shocked as anybody that they were declared the winner, because they did not expect to be declared the winner. Because they knew, and we knew, and everybody knew that Azimio was going to win this election. And I would say that on our side, our folks are just despondent and depressed because they did not expect to not be declared the winner. Opinion polls show that we are winning this election going away. Exit polls showed the same thing. If you look at the country's demographics, and you study them carefully, and I'm sure that my brother here has done the same thing, there is no way the matrix could have broken the way of UDA. Virtually impossible. The only place in the country that UDA could have defeated Azimio is in the Rift Valley. The only place. There is no other place that this was possible.
What about Central?
In fact, I'll tell you something. For the first time in the history of this country, the great people of the mountain, voted for a brother from the lake.
Mutua.
They voted for a brother from the lake.
Yeah.
And it's historic. It's historic. So let me just put a button on this. Button it up and say simply that we have there's data that has come out, data that tracks our own data from the whistleblower, from the IBC whistleblower. I do not think that we can simply sweep that data under the rug. And we're not sweep it under the rug and then start talking about reconstituting the IEBC before we address that question of that data.
Okay, Prof, I'm going to get to your whistleblower in a moment. Barack, you have something to say?
Reductio ad absurdum.
Okay.
Yeah, the things that you are saying. It's like me telling you I'm going to hold you by the hair on your bald head and swing it around and then throw you down 20 stairs because...
You can grab my neck instead.
Because
you can grab my neck instead.
So it is actually ridiculous to the point of absurdity. You see, elections were conducted in this country following the laid out constitutional order by the IEBC. My good brother here and his team subjected themselves to the process. They got to a point where they disagreed because they believed that they were going to win. The only option that they saw was the option of victory. You don't get into a contest believing that there can only be one result. And that only one result is that you are going to win. That is why they are depressed. He has said they are depressed. They are traumatized. They are in shock. They are in need of therapy. If there's anything that requires to be done, is therapy. They are saying that they won. It's like if you find yourself in a traumatizing situation, and say you have a child or a baby, or it's a woman who is going to have a baby, and they get lost, you go into trauma, and that trauma might see you ending up with this pillow here and calling it my baby. And you'd be telling people, bring me my baby. Where is my baby? I now want to breastfeed my baby. They still don't believe that the election was lost. They have been invited to constitutional institutions to process these things further, to bring this evidence which they have been researching for months. First, they were invited, or rather they invited everybody to the Supreme Court. It was their initiative. They got there and they were told it was hot air. And my brother knows what hot air is, unlike some of the people around him who don't understand that kind of idiom, and they take offense when they are told it was hot air. Now, within that context, they did not bring anything of evidential value to convince the Supreme Court that he calls the so-called Supreme Court. They came up with an imaginary whistleblower who is supposed to have given a certain John Mark Githongo some evidence, which that self-same John Mark Githongo has since recanted. Then there suddenly emerges another Joe Briggs, a shadowy, incorporeal, smoky, faceless, nameless Joe Briggs, who produces another whistle, full of sound and fury, but signifying nothing. When they are invited to present their issues before a legally constituted tribunal, they don't go there.
Can I? No, you've talked. I was just looking at my watch.
Don't get hot.
No, I'm not.
The collar.
I'm very cool.
Yeah,
I'm very cool.
I always knew you.
But I'm looking at my watch.
I knew you to be cool. If this
Finish.
what Amaraga has done.
Finish, my brother.
You better come
so I can
back.
answer you.
Huh?
Finish so I can answer.
So, the Cherera OPEC4 have the opportunity to go before the tribunal. They have the opportunity to go and say, this is what John Bob Briggs has given us, and therefore what these dissenting four did was right. It was good for the country. They ran away. Instead, we are seeing them hobnobbing around, gallivanting all over the place, telling us that they are going to be demos. It's the same old script, year in, year out, season out, 2013, 2017, 2022, angling.
Okay, are you
angling?
Are you finished?
I think you are hot under the collar. Let him go.
No.
Let him go.
No. Because you're, first of all, let me just say that you talk as though you don't live in Kenya.
It's you who doesn't live in Kenya.
No. You talk as though you don't live in Kenya.
You don't live in Kenya?
No. Listen to my language. As though you don't live in Kenya.
You know, I'm a student of language.
So what that means is that you are talking as though you are in a historical vacuum. Okay? If you look at the history of our country, my brother, okay? You look at the history of our country, and I think, you know...
And that's why I think 2013, 2017,
just listen.
2022,
just listen.
2007.
And I think partly you are a historian.
Not partly.
Partly you are a historian. Partly you are a historian.
Not partly.
Fully.
Just let me say this. If you look at the history of our country, there have only been two free and fair elections in this country. The election that brought Kenya independence and the election of 2002. Those are the only elections that anyone who studies elections and applies their minds to the science of elections can say were free and fair. The other elections were either shambolic or were compromised affairs. These institutions of democracy that you laud so highly, like the Supreme Court,
which you wanted to give justice.
Wait a minute, no, to rescue it. But you see, listen to this.
Okay.
Those institutions of themselves, on occasion, either failed, okay, and on one or two occasions made the right call. I grant you that. In 2017, the Supreme Court under Chief Justice Maraga made the right call. Okay? And clearly said that the election was irregular and illegal in the way it was conducted. Okay? By the same Chebukati that you now think is a saint.
Your words.
Okay? No, the same Chebukati that you now think is a saint. Now, let me just, he made a few other points there. The other point that you make is you invoke the name of John Kidongo.
Yes, indeed.
In vain.
No.
In vain, my brother, because...
John Mark
just listen.
Kidongo.
Just listen. John Kidongo has got nothing to do with any data that has been produced. I can tell you that. Has got nothing to do with that data. No, he doesn't have anything to do with the data that you are calling data from the whistleblower. He does not. I think that it is not fair to malign his name. It is not fair.
I don't.
And you are a man of honor, and I would like you to take back those words. Now, let me just say this. I know that you have worked with both sides of the aisle.
Indeed.
Okay, and I know that you know them very, very well.
Absolutely.
And I think you know that the 2007 elections were stolen.
I agree.
From the Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Indeed.
Okay? And I think you would agree that the 2017 election was compromised, as the Supreme Court said. If you agree with that, let me finish. I'm coming home now. I'm landing on you, not on your head. I'm just landing on you.
You're taking too long.
I'm landing on you. If you agree with those conclusions about 2007 and 2017, what we are asking you to do, my brother, is to give us time to have a conversation with the people of Kenya about the 2022 elections. Do not simply say, because Chebukati declared the election, or because the Supreme Court, anointed or sanctified the election, that the matter is finished. The matter is not finished. These are questions of numbers and evidence. And we have numbers and we have evidence. And for your information, let me just tell you this, my brother, and I think you know this, because at one point we're on the same side of the aisle before you skipped around and went to the other side. You are with us on this side of the aisle. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. These institutions that you saw now valorize are institutions that are compromised, and many of them are corrupt. And let me tell you something. I don't call the Supreme Court of Kenya, so-called Supreme Court, without thought. I don't do that. I respect democratic institutions. When I say something like that, my brother Barack, you should take me to the side and ask me, why did you say that? Because I can explain to you why I said that.
And Prof, let me jump in there and tell you, look, you said you recognize and you respect institutions, but yet you and Azimio refuse to recognize President Ruto and his administration. You completely refuse to recognize them. Why?
You see, Jeff, why? First of all, you are asking the questions as though you are a prosecutor. Are you prosecuting me? Let's get this very clear. Don't prosecute me. Yeah. Let me tell you, or prosecute. Prosecute. Let me say this. Elections are conducted and results are declared. It would be irresponsible on the part of Azimio to accept a result that we think amounts to a usurpation of the voice of the people of Kenya and the vote of the people of Kenya. We believe that this election was stolen, was rigged by UDA, by the IEBC, in cahoots with some international interests that I don't want to name here today. We believe that very strongly, and we have evidence of that, Jeff. If we have evidence of such a thing, what do you want us to do, my brother? Do you just want us to go down and just forget about it? What is our responsibility to the people of this country?
Before you answer, Barack, real quick, I mean, you're coming in 5 months later. Nearly 6 months later.
Because you know why, Jeff? Because it takes time to gather evidence, my brother. We are not in government. It takes time to gather evidence. It has taken us time to gather evidence. We have gathered it. We have some damning evidence that we are now presenting to the Kenyan people. Allow us to do that.
You see,
it's a country in which people can ventilate, can ventilate their grievances and disagreements.
Barack.
Yeah, those were 15 minutes. So I'll have my 15 minutes.
Of fame.
The first thing we want to remind Kenyans, and Professor Mutua sometimes tends to suffer from selective amnesia. Because not so long ago, Professor Makau Mutua refused to recognize President Uhuru Kenyatta as president of this country. And he has got it in black and white. He's got it on video, on camera, saying, I will not recognize Uhuru Kenyatta as president of Kenya.
I don't deny that.
And he called
deny that? I don't.
No.
Many times I came here and you asked me and I said no.
On this show.
On this show.
Wait a moment. Relax. Professor, you're still doing it the same way you were doing it in the 70s. You must demonstrate some growth. He used to call him Mr. Kenyatta.
Kenyatta.
Yeah, Kenyatta with his American twang. Yeah. And he didn't have it when we were at the University of Nairobi. It's what America does to you. Never mind. So he would not recognize Uhuru as president. But over the past 4 years, he has recognized Uhuru Kenyatta as president.
Not true.
I have had him.
No. Barack. Barack, correction. Last time I came on the show was just last time.
Right before the elections.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I have never done it, Barack.
That particular day.
I have never done it, Barack.
Particular day.
Rest that issue. I've never done it.
We'll put it in the parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah. We put it in the parking lot.
Yes.
We shall revisit. Yeah. But they have been hobnobbing himself, Mr. Odinga, his principal, telling people do not touch President Uhuru Kenyatta. They certainly have been in that nomenclature of referring to him. The moment there should be a handshake between Mr. Odinga and Dr. Ruto, and I take note that you don't seem to recognize that is Dr. Ruto. Yeah?
Because he is not.
Of course.
He is not. Just because you have a title does not mean that you earn that title, Barack. Come on now, there are many fake doctorates.
He's got a PhD.
As a fellow.
From where?
At the University of Nairobi.
That's right.
Yeah.
From where?
And from Professor Magoha.
No, from where?
Yes.
Come on now,
Yeah.
come on now. There is no way you can be a deputy president executing your duties and you going to school to study for a doctorate and getting it. It is not possible.
Now, if you can't do it, it doesn't mean that
No. It's just not possible.
other people cannot do it.
Right.
Yeah. This is one of the foremost doubting Thomases that you come across. He doubts everything, which is also a good thing. Philosophers are made of that kind of substance that they doubt, and therefore they are. And you see, therefore, that we seem to be moving into the space of not just expressing alternative opinion. We seem to be moving into space of insurgency. Yeah? that you have got a legally constituted order, that you have subjected yourself to that order. You have gone all the way to the courts, and you seem to have gone to the courts determined that there would be only one outcome. And since that outcome has not been realized, you manufacture information which you cannot even break down.
Can I ask you a question, Barack? Barack, can I ask you a question?
Don't ask yet. I'm cogitating.
You are cogitating?
Yeah.
You are going to cogitate for a long time. I want to help you with your thesis. Okay? Do you believe, Barack, that an institution that is constituted under a democratic constitution can actually go wrong?
Yes.
And do you believe that a government that's been declared by a body that is constituted legally can actually be illegitimate? Do you believe that?
No, it cannot be illegitimate.
Why not?
Why not? Well, if the referee decides that Maradona has scored, Maradona has scored. I'm not saying in this particular case the hand of Maradona has scored.
But that is,
yeah?
but that's you are reducing that to the riddle of absurdity. Let me tell you something. What a riddle of absurdity is. A riddle of absurdity is when you take something that looks, logical, but actually it is on its face it is not logical. You try to make it logical.
That's what you are doing. That's what you are doing with the Chirera 4.
Governments can be illegitimate, even those ones which are elected legitimately, because legitimacy is a concept that resides in the people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the people of this country have accepted William Ruto as the president of the Republic of Kenya.
Let me ask you something. Have you walked around?
Yes, I have.
If you walk around, let me say, if you walk around in Kenya, even here now, we can walk outside here. The first 10 people that we meet, Jeff, okay, if I walk around with him, okay, they're going to go out there and shake my hand. The first 10 people. They will shun him. They're going to shun my brother.
When we were coming,
they'll look at him and say...
When we were coming, the first 10 people we met, not the first 10 people we are going to meet,
right.
The first 10 people we met greeted me. They said, "How are you, Dr. Mluka?" They looked at him eyes askance.
No, we were not together, but I'm just saying this. I'm just saying this. I'm just saying that the people in this country, after the election was called by Chebukati, the people went into a funk. They are depressed. They are traumatized. The people do not know what happened.
The people
want answers. In this country, Barack, unless you live, in Mars, no one has celebrated anything.
But which people are you talking about? Which people are you talking about?
Just go out there. If you have, Jeff, you have to go back. You have to rack your brain, and to go back almost 2 decades ago, perhaps even more, to find a time when the people of this country were so depressed and traumatized and angry and hungry. We are actually dancing on the precipice. Okay? Do you know that our shilling has gone from 100 to now 132?
That's not, you shouldn't blame the present government.
No.
There's other factors.
If you are in power, you own what you have. It has gone. Kenya is now moving, or has moved, from the 6th largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa to the 8th largest economy in the last 5 months. To the 8th.
You can't blame this government for the dollar.
No. It's not, Jeff. You campaign on, based upon the programs that you are going to implement. Okay? 3, 4, 5 months down the line, you cannot still keep on pointing at your predecessors and saying that, it's this guy's fault. At some point, you break the pot, you own it.
But don't you think for the most part, Barack, people have moved on?
People have moved on.
Which people?
People have moved on.
Did you see Kamukunji the other day? Which people have moved on?
Look, now you are becoming a shoutant.
No, but which people have moved on?
Listen, we agreed that we were going to have civilized.
But you saw in the
civilized debate.
We left. We did.
Yes, so
we left JKLive, the airport. Okay, we came up this way.
I know what you did.
What did we do?
As you said earlier on, I've been in that space.
What did you do?
And I understand how you do it.
My brother,
I know how you
anything.
do it. You said I've been on that side of the,
yes.
of the aisle. I understand what you did.
What did we do?
But let me address more important and material things. Yeah? Institutions must be respected. When there's an opportunity to appear before a tribunal, appear before that tribunal. You have seen these people who say that they do not recognize the courts, they do not recognize the president, they do not recognize the tribunal. You saw just the other day, at the 11th hour, an attorney is appearing before the tribunal saying that Azimio has been adversely mentioned in these proceedings, and we now seek to be enjoined in these proceedings of this entity that they do not recognize, and they are even trying to catapult papers into the court and procedurally before the tribunal and procedurally.
I was not aware that my brother Barack, you have become a lawyer. I was not aware that you have become a lawyer.
You know, to become a lawyer, all of us are born lawyers. I'm Rabbi, the lawgiver, said a long time ago.
I mean,
that we are all born lawyers.
You know, it's our right to participate or not to participate.
In spite of the fact that you don't recognize the entity.
Which entity?
The government. The government.
No. The government is not one thing.
The tribunal.
The government has many...
The court system.
No, listen. The government has many fractions to it. Okay? The government has many fractions to it. What we do not recognize is a politically elected...
so what are you going to do?
The politically declared
what are you going to do about
regime in power.
What are you going to do about it?
No, are you the one who's now asking questions?
Yes. We are only entitled to
you asked them a few questions.
That's how
you have become an interrogator?
You asked me about a dozen questions.
Yes.
I kept saying yes.
Let me tell you something.
I'm with you.
Okay.
So what did you
Let me tell you something. So we... I don't know that you listened to us at Kamukunji. Obviously, you did.
Yes, I did.
Because
you were sounding like a broken old record.
No, because you seem to be very angry about it.
Because we've been there before.
You seem to be very angry about it. Let me finish.
You sounded like 2017.
But let me finish.
And sounded like 2013.
But let me finish.
And sounded like 2007.
You asked me a question, did you not?
Yes. So what did you purpose to do?
So we have statistics.
What do you purpose to do?
I'm answering a question. We have statistics that show that this fellow...
Which fellow?
...was not elected.
No.
Okay?
No.
Okay?
Prof.
We have... Listen. No, you asked me a question.
Professor...
Did you not ask me a question?
Respect institutions.
Did you not ask me a question?
Which fellow?
Okay. The fellow...
a fellow is a hoodlum.
No, the fellow who purports to be president. Let me tell you something. The people of Kenya have a right to ask questions about the election.
Which people?
The people of Kenya have a right to ask questions about the election. And they're going to ask that question whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, we are going to ask that question.
You're still not answering my question.
Yeah, Prof.
What do you purpose to do?
And President William Ruto has been recognized as the president. You must accept that at some point. You must accept it.
Accept what?
That he is the duly elected president.
Well, we don't recognize him.
So what are you going to do?
And we don't believe that he was validly elected. You see, Jeff,
what do you intend to do?
This is not breaking news. That we have refused to recognize an individual who is calling himself president. This is not news.
He's not calling himself president.
He's calling himself president. We are not calling him president. And I can tell you that. And I can tell you that our supporters do not call him president. I can tell you that. And you should wake up, Barack. Wake up to this fact that this country is divided. And there are people in this country who are extremely angry and who will not recognize this fellow as president.
No.
Prof, what do you want? Are you looking for a handshake?
Let
me ask you this. Are you looking for a handshake?
Let me tell you something. I'm not here to make declarations. But I'm here to tell you this. That where the people of this country want to go in prosecuting the case of the 2022 elections, they will go there. And no one can stop them from going there. You know, And you can take that to the bank.
What are you saying in plain language?
I'm speaking in plain language. I'm not speaking in Greek.
No.
I'm speaking English.
You're speaking in parables.
Well, I'm not speaking. I've said that the people of this country will go to where they want to go to get their victory recognized that they believe was stolen in August last year. They will do that.
But then there's people on the other side who think the other side.
Yeah. It's what I cannot speak for them. I'm only speaking for the side that I'm working with. And I can tell you that we will do whatever it takes to get our victory back.
Including all these rallies you talk about?
To get your victory back?
Yes.
Okay, I've heard you.
Yeah, you've heard me now. Is that plain enough?
I think so.
Yeah.
And including these rallies every week?
There are many strategies that can be used, because you must allow the people to ventilate their views, to express themselves about the election. The people are expressing themselves.
He says that the election was stolen, and they'll stop at nothing to reclaim their victory.
We'll stop at nothing.
So expect another swearing in.
No.
Expect, well, what do you mean by reclaiming? How do you reclaim?
No.
If this is yours, and I've taken it, to reclaim it is to dispossess me of it and put it where it rightly belongs with you. That means you purpose to use extra constitutional.
No, you should not
extra
be.
Constitutional
No. You should not be. You should not be so exercised about this.
I'm not exercised.
Yes, you are. Let me tell you something. If someone comes to your house, okay.
Yes, if it is my house.
Yeah, he comes to your house.
If it's my house.
And pillages your house.
If it is my house.
And takes up whatever is in there and carries it away. Barack, as the person that I know you are, you pursue that person to the ends of the earth to get what is justly yours. We are doing the same.
And that's what you're going to do?
We are doing the same.
No matter how long it takes?
No matter what the
why do I hear the word how long it takes in there? We don't expect it to take too long.
You've taken 6 months already?
No, but we now have what we're looking for. We expect this thing to be quick and soon.
Is there really a whistleblower, Prof?
Yes, there is.
No.
That person exists?
Of course there is.
There's no whistleblower.
And your claims are legit?
Of course there is.
There's no whistleblower.
Of course there is.
This is a fictional
You don't know,
character.
Barack. You don't know anything.
I have been in that space. And I have tarried with your principle longer than you have done.
No, Barack.
And I know how that mind works.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Where were you during the swearing in of?
Let me just tell you something. I am not the kind of individual who would come to a national program like this one and stand behind the notion of a whistleblower if there was none.
There is none.
Okay, I am a lawyer of long standing, Barack. You know me as
and
you know me as you know me.
That is what in philosophy we call a verecundiam argument.
And you know me, so you cannot come and say that I am
argumentum verecundiam.
No.
That means when you no longer have the ability to argue out your point.
No.
You refer to
because it's upsetting to me for you to say that we are lying.
You refer to your authorities, and you start saying I'm a lawyer. And therefore, because I'm a lawyer, what I'm saying is valid.
No.
Yeah, it is a logical fallacy.
No, I'm just saying to you
that everything you say, political things you say, because you are a lawyer, they are necessarily valid.
Barack, you know what? There's a truth in what you are saying. But let me tell you something.
It's a logical fallacy.
It's like you now coming here and making a statement, which you firmly believe to be true.
Yes.
And me telling you that you are lying.
Okay.
No,
okay. I am not doing that.
Okay, Barack, let me ask you this question. How would you rate President Ruto's term so far in the last 5-6 months? How would you rate him?
The term is just getting off the ground. It's not even time to begin rating it. I was surprised that as soon as he was sworn in, people started rating. They started saying, oh, you promised this, you have not delivered, you promised that, you have not delivered. It's like when you have an exam paper in front of you, you've just written on your name. You actually, in principle, have 100 marks. to either gain or lose. And it's too early when you have just done the first answer or you have just written your name for us to start saying that we are rating you. President Ruto's permanent secretaries are barely a month old in government. This government has been formed through a painfully slow process, sometimes being slowed down by Makau Mutua and others around him, who go to court and say, you will not appoint these people, slow down. And it amazes me how they approbate and reprobate concurrently, that they denigrate the court. When they think the court is going to slow down the formation of government, they run to court, they come out.
Can I now answer you on the government?
Rating?
What basically is saying is that, that we should not hold the government accountable.
Government must be held accountable.
That we should not count receipts about what they have not done. You saw these guys during the campaign running around the country breathlessly, promising heaven and earth to everyone. Hustler fund, hustler this, hustler that. Okay? They have come into power.
Which is in place.
They have, which is a joke. They have come into power. they have the state. Okay? We did, I don't know whether you saw our ledger for 100 days, which is a normal way of looking at government, what you have done for the first 100 days.
Your ledger...
Because they had said that, that in the first few days, we're going to do X, Y, Z, we're going to bring down the cost of unga, we're going to bring down the cost of fuel. Instead, all those things have gone up. They said that they would not borrow money, you know. The guy now is out there with a begging bowl in France, begging again for more money to put us in more debt.
Yeah, because of the damage you did.
You have seen what they have done with
because of the damage you did in the...
You have seen what they have done with the judicial system. They have released every crook and thief that ever existed. Okay? And not only that, not just released the thieves and the crooks, they have appointed them in the most significant positions in the country's, governance structure. Okay? Is that what people wanted in this country? Really? You know, what is the one thing that they can tell us that they have done for this country? They have given these people 500 shillings in the so-called hustler fund, an insult of the worst kind. And where is the money that coming from?
That's a rich man talking.
Okay? The country...
This is a man who has never slept hungry.
Let me just tell you...
He doesn't understand what a poor man can do with 500.
Can I just... Nothing. They cannot even get their head shaved. Let me tell you something. They cannot even get their head shaved, with 500 shillings.
Yes, they can, depend where.
They cannot. I'll just tell you something. I'll just tell you something,
yes.
Barack, that just to be honest with each other, the economic situation in this country is bad.
Indeed, and it is the co-presidency.
And you know, it is getting worse.
Which you are part of that.
Listen,
there.
Listen, and it's getting worse.
It is your sponsors of your campaign.
So you cannot come back and say
to pay taxes.
You cannot come back and say that you are going to tax people who use the platform on M-Pesa to send money. M-Pesa is one of the greatest things that this country has ever invented. Mm-hmm. Even Americans admire M-Pesa. You saw Mark Zuckerberg admiring M-Pesa. Yeah. So when you say that you are going to tax them, already M-Pesa is taxing people because there's a fee for sending and receiving. How can government come back and say we're going to take that, even that little that you have from you? Okay? You guys promised to revive the economy. Yes. You promised to bring this country back on its feet. Instead, you have completely put back on its, the country back. Are
you saying we're better off or worse off now than 6 months ago?
Oh, we are completely worse off. The shilling has collapsed. Don't you know that? Everyone knows the shilling has collapsed.
There's a war in Ukraine and Russia.
And why is that not happening elsewhere in the world?
Economies are suffering.
No.
You're talking as if you have arrived from us.
No, what I'm saying to you is that already economies are actually stabilizing elsewhere. our economy is collapsing as the others stabilize.
You see, Jeff.
Ours is collapsing and others, stabilize.
Economies stabilize with political stability. You look at the people who are destabilizing the environment. We know what happens after every election. In the lead up to an election, especially in this country, investment goes down. People are being cautious, especially when you have a competitor who is saying that we have got the deep state, we have got the system, we are going to steal this election. And the other side is compelled to say nobody can steal my election. So people prepare for turbulence.
Yeah.
And after the elections, people have got to monitor that environment for some time before investment and normal economic activity can resume.
The election was 6 months ago.
Before you get there,
6 months ago.
Before you get there, you have these fellows, beginning to go all over the place, saying that we are going to be holding rallies, and that which we must do, we are going to do. Who do you expect to put their investment in that kind of environment where you are already promising people hell when they were thinking that the country was beginning to stabilize?
Have we done anything illegal? Have we done anything illegal?
You haven't so far.
Yeah, so what is your complaint?
But you have indicated...
What is your complaint?
You have indicated that you are on the verge of doing something,
never.
something illegal.
Whatever we do, Barack, let me assure you, whatever we do will be within the four corners of the Constitution of Kenya. Whatever we do.
Prof, let me ask you this. The President has been wooing
for that.
A lot of the opposition, including Jubilee MPs.
You mean Mr. Ruto has been wooing MPs?
That's what he used to call President Kenyatta.
You mean Mr. Ruto has been wooing
Jubilee MPs, MPs from the north. Do you think he's consolidating his power? Is this absolute power?
This fellow went with the Moi school of thought, whereby the belief in Kenya is that no one has principle. You can buy anyone, everyone has a price. That is the operating principle under which Mr. Ruto works. So I'm not surprised he's trying to do that. At the same time, he's lying, obviously, saying that he wants a strong opposition. How can you want a strong opposition if, in fact, you are buying people off with money? These people are just being given money, Jeff. And you and I know that.
You know that for a fact?
I know that for a fact. They're all being given money. And at some point, I feel sorry for them, because these are individuals who have not learned to live outside the state, doing business for themselves, being entrepreneurs. They must suck at mama's titty.
You see,
that's what they must do.
You have people,
and so when Mr. Ruto calls them, they come running.
People who are angling for a handshake so that they can get into the state, having pity for people they say do not know how to live outside the state. A few days ago, we had senior ODM politicians telling President Ruto, please sit down with your brother Raila Odinga and talk to him so that he can be part of this process. It is on camera. It is recorded. And what did they mean by sit down and talk to your brother?
You can ask the person. You can ask the person. I didn't say that.
Your principles.
I did not say that.
Your principles.
I did not say that. And you heard. I think you heard clearly what Mzee said at Kamukunji.
That is raising the stakes.
No.
That is what he said in 2019.
No.
And I was there when he was saying, we are just doing this so that they can sit down.
Let me tell you, Barack, let me tell you for free. No one is looking for a handshake. Let me tell you that. No one is. So you can put that in the dustbin. No one is looking for a handshake.
I know that.
Put that in the dustbin. No one is
looking for. What are you looking for?
Hand for a,
we want to reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Which is
the victory that was stolen.
And how are you going to take it?
By any means.
Oh, time for some tweets. Sorry. Sorry. Gentlemen, we could go on all night with this.
We could.
Could go on all night and...
yes.
Well, It has to end somewhere. It's Kiplating says, Kenya is bigger than any one of us. I applaud Kenyans for maintaining peace before and after 2002 general elections. We have set a good precedent in which other countries can learn from our mature democracy. You agree?
Absolutely.
Prof, you don't agree?
Why should that? There's nothing to disagree with there.
Okay. Dr. Idris Dubo says, I have a question for Professor Makau Mutua. If the elections were stolen, as you say, how could the physical forms brought in by ROs and the forms in the portal be the same? You claim things have changed or were changed. How can these forms be the same?
The forms are not the same.
The forms were the same.
No, the forms are not the same, by the way. And let me tell you something. The IEBC has never produced the JPEG forms that were transmitted from the KIMS kits to the portal. They have not been produced.
So why haven't you produced yours?
What they have, they are there on the website of the whistleblower. What they have on the portal are, WhatsApp pictures of forms, not the JPEG. The original transmission is supposed to be on JPEG. We want to see those ones. Let the IBC produce those ones.
What's the difference?
Because those are the authentic ones, the JPEG ones. Where are they?
Look at that.
Where are they?
No, look at that.
Mangwaz 3 says, the timeline for filing presidential election petitions should be extended to 2 months. 7 days is not enough to gather weightier evidence that Azimio team has now. The recent one could be invalidated or could have invalidated President Ruto's win, or Raila declared the victor.
The window is too short, 2 weeks, too short. It needs to be extended.
Okay, Jay Mukuruini says, it is incomprehensible that Azimio, having all the government machineries and resources to their disposal, can be outwitted by a peripheral political outfit to warrant a claim of a rigged election. Also, it is unwarranted for them to castigate the Kenya Kwanza government on non-performance perspective, yet it is hardly a year in power. They are imposing a pentagonal wheels to make running if government difficult.
Now he was saying people,
Yes.
the people.
Yes.
These are the people.
But what are they saying? The people here are expressing disappointment.
In you.
That's what I'm reading. No,
In you.
no. In the system, okay? They are expressing disappointment.
Yeah. Alex Wanyandaro says, one thing I liked about Professor Magoha, unlike the rest of the CSs who publicly took political sides during the campaign period, himself never pronounced which side he was supporting, but instead focused on his duties and bringing reforms in the education sector. True? True?
I don't know what was in his heart, so I cannot speak about that.
Prof, you are angry today, you know that?
I'm not angry.
You're angry.
No, I'm not. I am straightforward and candid.
All right.
There's a difference.
Let's get some closing thoughts then, Prof. Let's get some closing thoughts.
Yeah, so what I want to say is this. I want to say that if people in this country are angry, then they are rightfully so. Because if the will of the people is averted, okay, by a cabal and cartels of individuals working in cahoots with institutions within the state to steal an election, and the people in the country are not angry, then something is wrong. In fact, I wish that today I was more angry. Okay? I wish I was more angry, because the victory that Azimio won in August 2022 was stolen. Okay? And as I've said before, and I just want my brother here to be clear about this. And he knows what we can do, because he used to be one of us. He knows what we can do. He knows what we can do. He knows what we can do. Yeah. Let me just say this, that we will stop at nothing within the four corners of the constitutional framework to reclaim our victory. And you can take that to the bank.
Barack, you get the last word.
Yeah, first of all, Jeff and viewers, I think there are only two things that William Ruto did in the last election. One of them was that he campaigned. The other one is that he voted. I don't think that he counted any votes, or he tallied any votes, or he announced any results. He was told, you are the president-elect. And the rest of the processes have gone on. They've been constitutional. They've been within the framework of the law. And we have got a president in power in State House. This president may not always do things the right way or do the right things. And those who don't agree with him have got the constitutional and legal space to ventilate and to correct him. But what we are seeing today and what I'm hearing my brother, Professor Makau Mutua saying is no longer the voice of opposition. It's about subversion. It's about subverting the government so that it doesn't work, it doesn't deliver, but it goes beyond that. I'm hearing the sound of insurgency. And I think the people of Kenya have got cause to worry about the coming days.
This is what happens when you are caught with your pants down. You start projecting and calling people insurgents or rebels.
But you've said by whatever means.
No, I said whatever means within our constitutional framework. I've said that several times.
But the constitutional framework is exhausted.
No, it is not exhausted. It is not. The right to do what we are doing today
to take over
it's our right. To take over government, yes. It's our right within the constitutional framework.
All right. What do you think, folks? What do you think? Is Professor Makau Mutua right? Is Barack Muluka right? Who's right and who's wrong? That's why we keep having these debates, folks. I keep saying, let's keep talking, because the moment we stop talking is the moment we start fighting. And we don't want to go down that slippery slope. Gentlemen, thanks so much. Good to see you both. Let's keep talking.
I just want to say that we are still friends.
And he's still my
You're still
friend.
friends.
We are still friends.
And classmates.
And he's still my friend.
42 years later.
We are still friends.
That's what I love about this country. We're still friends at the end of the day.
Yes.
Folks, remember, if it's Wednesday, it's all about those three letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Good night. Good luck. God bless Kenya.
Should I put on my glasses?
Yeah, put on your glasses, bro.
Let me.